Recording. I got something to say. um, did this test. Oh, should I start with the ants? Okay, so I wrote this essay too. A bunch of different times. Kind of kicked off like sort of a pet project, but it was about the army ants that go out to forage for their food and they leave a trail of pheromones and they can lose the scent and lose their way, and they can also get derailed by following each other. And it's kind of perfect that they're army ants, but I guess I can't take on every part of this because I got another thing I'm trying to get to. But and the entire colony can lapse into a circle of death, you might call it, or a death spiral, and really just to the point of exhaustion, follow each other's trail, thousands of them. So in this modern day and age, there are three concerns probably that I got, which are, first, conformity is worse than ever because of what we got going on. I mean, there's so much external feedback. People source a sense of themselves externally. They want to match their identity to what is communicated to them as being, I don't know, I suppose they find it right for them. Without getting an education in critical thinking, we really become reduced to understanding everything through the senses, through what we see, through what we hear. And if you're a writer type, which there are only so many real freaks like us, writers used to be like me. Now they're like polished professionals maintaining their fucking image, man. You can get the degree without the education, or you can get the education without the degree, but that degree ain't gonna do your thinking for you. I'm glad I don't have the degree, because I feel like it's really important that we don't let universities decide who gets to participate in discourse. So there's a lot of artificiality in the world, but these ants will lapse into this circle following each other, and it will take a renegade ant to pull them out of this fucking spiral that they end up in. Well, so there's something, there's the Asch test. That's the thing that I was going to talk about. And I'm surprised. I don't think I'm smart, and that's why I make such an effort of rationalizing to the extent that I do. And I work from even the smallest things, and I wish that could show, if only I can show it, that's like, it means that everybody can engage things critically. If you don't, and you only try to match to the external world, the conversations become like reduced to what you experience through the senses. And that means talking about the prices of things, goods and services. It means talking about the weather, maybe sports, TV shows, fast food deals. Listen to people if you go to a public setting and you hear like people chatting at work or in your own workplace too. But it's interesting when you're in someone else's workplace, like a hospital or something, and you hear people talking, the old hens gossiping with each other. But how should I do it? Like that? So people become really reduced to advertisements for what is already out there. I mean, your minds can be ruled, So the Asch test, if I can draw it properly. Yeah. Okay. So we did this in school. And you have to, if you're familiar with it and you're not watching by yourself, and if anybody ever watches anything I do other than people who hate my guts, who will sink my thing here, I mean, that's the point of it, right? You want to troll so you can, like, sink somebody's shit, right? Because why would you want to spend your own time making your own shit? Anyway, which line matches? Okay? If anybody were watching with somebody else, you could play along in how this goes if you already know it. And see how somebody else might so easily, by least resistance, conform. If only you had enough people telling you wrong, right? So, well, I was the only one that got this right in school, but no one wants to give that to me because I'm supposed to be stupid. Like, I really had this belief that I was stupid. When I talk about inferring from, like, minimal things, I wrote this thing about just only as much as accidents happening close to home, hitting close to home, and how people really feel more invited to slight someone of their own kind, I guess you could say. You know, white on white, black on black, in family, like in-house, like domestic disputes and stuff. It's people that you're around, you know. Because of course that's where you do most of your driving, right there close to home. It makes sense that that's where most of the accidents would happen. But just inferring from that little bit, I would just like to say you can infer so much. There's no limit. So there are some shithead writers that really want their degree to do it all for them, and they're conformist. They're blind. Army ants are blind, so that's why they use the pheromones. I forget how important that is. They're literally blind, so you get the blind leading the blind into this spiral, and you need something to take you out of it. And I would say that the consequences of conformity now are worse than ever, that the inclination to conform is worse than ever, and the ability to repress the correction to it is to suppress people who correct it. Is worse than ever. So the ultimate issue of extinction would come down to the quality of human beings you got. So I was the only one that got this shit right, and that doesn't mean that I'm smart. It kind of means that everybody else is fucking stupid, and I'm sorry to say that, but well, at least I'm not stupid, but I'm not smart. I never felt smart, and that's why I don't feel like I can really put forward anything that isn't well thought out. So in this case, in case you can't tell, I might be like not the best drawer, but it's line 3, right? So everybody in my class did this in their little control groups, and I missed the class that day. And I went in there, and the teacher was like, "Hey, did you do the ASH test?" And I didn't, so they did it to me with the entire class. It was me and the entire class. And so I'm getting this, and the answer's 3. And the entire class is going along and saying it's 2 or it's 1. They're all trying to, or like they agree. What they do is they all will say it's 1 or it's 2. They'll give you the wrong thing, but they'll all agree. And then basically 99% of you out of 100 will agree just because that's what everybody else said. It's like you'd rather be wrong as long as everybody else is wrong. So this, to me, this was easy to me. I sat there like arguing for, and then you get faulted for arguing what's true just because you're the one arguing. And it kind of reminds me of my entire time in school where I'm the one saying it's 3, and they're going, no, it's 2, it's 2. And this is the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire day. So I'm going, no, it's 3. You guys can say 2. I say 3. Just say 2. Just say 2. I go, why? You know, I spend like 25 to 30 seconds until it's getting kind of old, And I got like people turned around in their chair to they won't accept my answer 3, okay? And then the guy's going, my buddy, or a guy, he was my friend at the time, he was turning in his chair like everybody else, but he's going, just say 2, just say 2. And I'm like, I'm thinking it's like a knock-knock joke or some kind of riddle. I'm like, wanting to play along at some point because I just spent 25 to 30 seconds. Like I must have reiterated, like I got my final answer here 8, 9 times, 10 times maybe, and they won't accept it. Okay? And then, yeah, finally in the end, it's like, knock, knock, okay, who's there, you know? It's like that. It's like the old bar trick, like, was that movie Rounders or something, where they have like these bar like prank things. They make a bet, and you don't think of how the wording of the answer will trick you, right? There are those little teasers, and I can't really think of a good one right now. But I think maybe they're gonna have something like that where I'm gonna be like, oh, that's why it would be 2. So eventually they're like, just say 2, just say 2, and I go, okay, 2. And then the teacher immediately takes this answer and goes, nope, see, nobody got it. And it's like, that's exactly, you guys just repeated the exact same thing and just took away the truth, which was that I just answered it correctly. But you just want to just change that on me because you're literally doing it again. Yeah, let's just envision what we'd like to see and just say, nobody got it because none of you fucking got it. And to me, this was easy. And I don't mind that everybody else has a different answer at all because my answer is this. And that's what I see as right. I don't know. For me, that's really easy one. But for everybody else, this is the world I live in. This is how you get a fucking truth teller, man. It's just, I've always had my truth violated, and it kind of makes me defend it and rationalize it further and see, you know, and I'm looking for why I'm wrong. Why am I so stupid? You know, how come I'm the only one who thinks this and thinks that? You know? And I challenge any foundation I might be able to stand on, and it doesn't take a damn genius. Now, what I would say, the way we project onto each other, this is easy. Okay? Look, you can measure it. I could take a ruler and measure it and factually see which it is as a fact. The way we project onto people, you can't even do that. Yet, in your mind, you've got this imagination for who somebody else is just because you prefer that you and somebody else wants to say that that person ain't shit, I guess. Let's just reimagine the truth of that person and then be so damn sure that we know, like, the heart of a person when you can't even do this and you can measure it, man. So this is the relationship I've had with the world since I was a kid. Oh, I wanted to add that, you know, the Madden thing. There's a Chiefs player. Somebody was telling me that there's a Chiefs player that he was going to be traded to a team. Some team was interested in a trade. They decided against it because his score on the Madden football game, like his little, you know, if you're like, it's like Pokemon. That, oh my God, if you guys let us fall into a social credit score, your kids are fucked. You want to suppress me? I'm the one sticking up for your kids. I'm the one making sure they're going to be able to drive. I'm the one making sure they might have an idea of how to use their phone in a way that's not just, look at this person. You need to develop actual ideas. Writers maybe, the actual writers suck ass now. They're really just trying to present themselves as polished professionals. Since when is that a writer? You need education and you need experience, and they really inform each other. The experience helps you understand the education that you get, and the education that you get helps you understand the experiences that you've had and will get. Like I remember going to school after the military, coming out of the military now, going across the country to go to school and learning about the stages of culture shock. It's like, ooh, I'm going to witness that in myself. I'm going to observe this in myself as a specimen. Everybody else is like, I don't mean everybody else. I don't like to even speak of myself in such a way that might separate me, but I get separated, you know, I get left with me. like for example, I was a combat correspondent or journalist in the Marines, and so the Marines, like, some people think of the Marines, they're like, oh, the Marines, that's cool. It's like, yeah, as a journalist. Oh, like it's not as much of a Marine. Or, hey, I was a journalist. Cool. Yeah, in the Marines. Um, oh, like I'm not as much of a journalist. Or, if you're from some white ass German can state, if you're a pig blooded hillbilly like me and you go out to a very rural and very diverse area, some people might want to reimagine you, even though I was in the military and even though I spent my early childhood in the city. They might want to just reimagine you as, yeah, an ignorant pig blooded hippie. Or, I mean, hillbilly. And, some kind of, yeah, some ignorant asshole. Like I'm like I'm what you call a xenophile, yet you want to make it into me not being cultured. I'm obsessed with everybody else's cultures. I like to see the continuity, the universality, the universal truths represented in many different ways. Um, so same thing. Like, yeah, I must be some ignorant pig-blooded hillbilly if I'm out there in the um, urban world, and then I go back to the little shit town we went to, and now I'm suddenly some snobbish, pretentious intellectual wannabe or something. I had to wannabe because I think I'm an anti-intellectual. I think that might be how you describe me. I'm hearing about pseudo-intellectuals. And then I heard somebody accuse Robert Greene of being a pseudo-intellectual, who is kind of the writer that I'm talking about, but he still maintains an open mind and challenges his own ideas. He's on the opposite side of all his power-conscious stuff, and I'll credit him for that. But writers are thinkers, and to defend against writing is to defend against doing anything more than reducing everything to what you can see through the senses, which makes you just so easy to manipulate, and you'll never uncover the ideas that you really have. Um, I mean, just the difficulty of providing words for um, for what is emotionally significant to you. People who can't do that, they can't rationalize their emotions. And then they become jealous of language proficient people, but they have the same ability to do it. And also, I don't want to say that language proficiency, it really incites a lot of jealousy, and it's an image thing. People who are obsessed with image, they don't really develop that. I'm speaking from the heart. I'm speaking from what I care about and have submerged myself in. They instead will speak and orient around preserving their image. And that's why they don't have that. But then they become jealous of the language proficient person that you might call articulate or something. And you have that too. But you don't need that also. But people will defend against getting a liberal education now. And if we don't have that, then you're all programmable. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty separate from the society here. History will like me because I don't think this is going the right way. I'm the ant that veered off by myself. There are followers, but they'll I mean, there's been an adjustment in our value system thanks to others who would like to be actual originals. But anyhow, the ants, they go, like, a liar becomes desensitized. I've said it a few times, but they become desensitized to, in their stress response. This is not to their benefit. Your cognition, it depends on, you have a hippocampus, which you might consider the library in your brain. All the information and stuff, your storehouse. But then, there needs to be one that navigates it. That's your amygdala. Where is the emotional significance? What drives you? You're an emotional creature first. People find way too much strength in basically repressing that, basically matching the outside world and conforming to it and counting it strength. Orwell warned that in a dystopic, totalitarian society, ignorance is strength. What do you think we got going on now? I don't know if this detox tea is. I've been drinking this stuff, and I don't know if it's caffeinated or not. It doesn't say on the thing, which I think it means it is caffeinated. So what do I need to drink this earlier in the day? A detox tea you might think would exhaust you just a little bit, like a wind down kind of tea. Whatever. Well, yeah. So did I do everything? Did I finish the ants? See, we don't know the difference between the ideas we agree with and the person that presents them. We're just reimagining people to measure as tall or as short as we want them to be, and we don't even consider the merit in the ideas that they might present. And the ideas are so much more important. So when the stupid person has the smart idea, we need to be able to receive it. We can't just say they don't have a high enough Madden score to be on the team. We can't just say, ooh, how many friends do they have? Maybe they weren't fucking around on social media and that they were only developing a foundation of ideas, actual ideas, instead of just, you like Taco John's or Taco Bell? I like Taco John's. Fucking stupid conversations. And you're just, this show and that show, or this movie's coming out and okay, just keep selling, just keep functioning as salespeople for other people's product then, when you can create it. We have the capability here. So, I don't know, I should probably quit rambling. I feel like I haven't really put a dent in this one yet. I don't know, I've reduced it to a few key things. I just can't believe though, that as long as somebody else says it and somebody else says it, that must be true. It's like, that's exactly what isn't true. That's exactly what isn't true. That's exactly where the danger is. When too many people are refusing to disagree or correct something. I am not going to be pleased to see potentially authoritarianism unfold. A golden age, huh? For who? You know, they're talking about criminalizing homelessness all over the place. I have a solution for homelessness. Maybe I should present that next. Do they want it? Oh, it can't be a good idea because that guy's stupid. And this is a good idea because that person's smart. Elon Musk has a bad idea. Elon Musk, who I am, Elon Musk wants to nuke Mars. Do you know that? You know why? He's not thinking about the next generation. He wants to get his own ass up there to Mars. Just go to Iraq, man. What do you think Mars is gonna be like, dude? You wanna fucking go to a desert planet? Just go fucking to Iraq when it's cold as hell outside at night, and there you go, you're on Mars, man. He wants to detonate a thermal nuclear, like he was talking about, it's the fast way, you basically microwave the planet. You better find a planet just like Mars and go do it to that one first, because I don't think that we know everything that we need Mars to do in our solar system. Did you know that Jupiter, we need that massive planet to like absorb like asteroids that would destroy us? Pulls it in with its humongous gravity. We don't even know everything that each thing, we don't know shit. Oh, and that's what I was going to get at before. There's not really, you can infer from so little. Like the amygdala thing, you know? So if you can consider the opposite. If the amygdala becomes desensitized by people lying to their benefit, to the point where they become more and more bold about the lies that they tell, just carelessly, they feel like they can say any damn thing they want. And I have never had that ability to do that, and that would serve me well. If only I could just say what was going to work. If only I could just match what I have to say to what is already being accepted. Yeah, I literally do the exact opposite. Um, where was I going? Um, I don't know. I don't know. Where was I just at, man? But oh yeah, there's no real. There are writers who like. There's no use in suppressing a writer that you think has something to offer. That is one of the stupidest things you can do. But people who want to insist that their degree does the thinking for them, that these artificial accolades count them as smart, when really you should just be making the smart idea instead of thinking of yourself. There are a lot of writers like that who think of themselves as writers and they want to be this writer. But why don't you just do the writing? You should just be attracted to it and sorting out the complex thing. If it's not drawing you in, if you're not compelled to do it, and you're thinking about your image. So yeah, criticize Robert Greene for maybe being a little too careful in his presentation, but you need guys like that. You need writers. You need people who like writing. But he's a pseudo-intellectual, according to somebody that I heard from once. I just think that's a mistake. Writers are very important because not everybody opts out of dealing with the discomfort of unpacking the challenging truth. And so anyway, we can only go so far into the depths of the ocean. We can only go so far into the center of the earth, and we can only go so far to the outer reaches of outer space. And it's the same in the inner world. There's not some shortage of work to be done. If there were a brush pile of work that needs to be done, and it's like a cleanup job. I'm thinking of a job that I had, big brush pile, me and another guy, and it's like you can basically not want the other guy to be there, so you have more that you can do, but with the amount that's there to do, you want a good helper, man. You want another person that can handle the heavy lifting. But I want to reiterate the concern that we can form more. The audiences that people build are intended to include, they want to get the biggest audience they can. So we come together in conforming into this island of ideas or that island of ideas. And then you can't even disagree with the influencer because it's that person. But they can just give you ideas that completely contradict what they otherwise stand on, and people will like it all the same, not knowing the difference between who is right and what is right, you know? Big difference. I mean, it's so stupid because we can, like I said, measure this shit. Okay, but you're going to be so damn sure who somebody else is. It's really annoying because it's completely imaginative. It's completely undisciplined, man. But okay, not only do we conform more than ever, I think, and a lot of it having to do with all the external things that in which we're going to find our identity and all this external feedback that we have. We find it according to that. The world telling us who we are and what we need to be. Only so many of us grow up in conditions with people pushing on us, you know, what we're not, so that we need to actually uncover what we really are, you know? And that's the person who doesn't need to be smart to do that, dude. But it can be maddening, you know? But we conform more than ever. The consequences in the modern age can be worse than ever. And the ability to make sure that the person up here is louder than ever and the person down here is completely suppressed, the ability to make sure we avoid correction, it's worse than ever. So you do want some nonconformists, but what you're getting is people who conform to the idea of, yeah, I'm a nonconformist too. And once again, there's a difference between seeming something and having to be it. So, I'll post it, whatever. God bless America. Have a good night.